Good night and welcome to Teleislas News with the most relevant and important information of the day. Due to the non-compliance with Decree 0025, which regulates outdoor advertising, visual, political, or electoral propaganda, the dismantling of billboards of the different candidates of the archipelago began today.
Around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a process of ensuring and dismantling of political advertising or electoral propaganda which did not comply with the provisions of Decree 0025 began, such as the request for authorization before the territorial entity for the placement of electoral propaganda to be made by the president of the movement or political party before the Departmental Planning Secretariat. This is in regards to the election to the Congress of the Republic and the Senate to be held on March 13th.
El día de hoy estamos haciendo un operativo.
Today we are carrying out an operation to dismantle all visual advertising or electoral propaganda that has not complied with the provisions of Decree 0025. Those candidates who did not comply, who did not request the relevant permits from the Planning Secretariat, and did not comply with what was established in the decree. We are doing the necessary validation with the Attorney General's office, the Comptroller's office, the Ombudsman's office, and the police. All of them are accompanying us to ensure that all the provisions of the decree are complied with.
During the process of dismantling billboards, several entities were present, such as the National Electoral Council, the Attorney General's Office, the National Police, and the Ombudsman's Office, ensuring that the established guarantees were complied with.
I hear by invitation from the Secretariat of Government, well, and they regulate as well the Decree 025 and 2022 that regulate the visual aspect them and the measurement them and the place them that they can put the buyer them for the election for 13 and March 2022. As well, the Secretariat of Government invite us to accompany them in this proceeding, like the Ministerio Público. And we're here today with the different entities them. They go along from the part from San Luis, then start today, so we accompany them to make that corridor.
It is noteworthy that the beginning of the removal of billboards took place in the southern part of the island and will continue in all sectors of San Andres to ensure that there is no billboard or political propaganda that violates the current decree such as 0025.
Members of the Rizal community and government met in the framework of the relocation project of the emblematic Morgan Canyon.
The interim governor, Randy Manuel Henry, made a site visit to the Morgan Canyon in company of the Secretaries of Government, Infrastructure, Tourism, Culture, and Mobility in order to contemplate the need for intervention of the road adjacent to the monument. This in reference to the prior consultation that was held in recent days as part of the projects of the construction of the Rizal Museum and relocation of the Morgan Canyon, works requested by the community.
We are in a site visit to the Morgan Canyon regarding the relocation of the canyon. Today we completed this thorough visit with the Rizal community and the entire team of the Governor's Office, the Infrastructure, Government, and Mobility Secretariat on behalf of Governor Everett Hawkins. We are accompanying the community so that they can be observers of what we are actually doing. Today we defined the site to intervene, as you can see where this Morgan Canyon is going to be located, and possibly we will have the structure with the designs by the end of the month.
The design of the location of the Morgan Canyon was approved by the Rizal community in 2019 through prior consultation. The tourism portfolio will be in charge of the work with technical support from other secretariats.
Much attention to the following note. Cleaning and landscaping works are being conducted at the Sunrise Park, as it is expected that there may be a future opening.
This was announced by the Departmental Administration through the Sports Secretariat, Cleaning and Landscaping of Sunrise Park. According to the announcement, during these days, cleaning and landscaping works will be performed at Sunrise Park in order to leave spaces free of debris and suitable for a future reopening of the recreational center. The head of the office has announced that the Secretariat of Sports and Recreation has provided personnel for the landscape enhancement of the place and will be processed before the the Departmental Duma the draft ordinance that would empower Governor Everett Harkins Green to process the concession of the Sunrise Park and once and for all open this gate for the enjoyment of the community. It should be recalled that this park has been closed to the public and to the enjoyment of the inhabitants of the archipelago for years.
And today, the manager of the historic park political party in San Andres, lawyer Juan Carlos Pumir, issued a statement on the events that occurred during the visit of presidential candidate Gustavo Petro in the department.
The statement begins by stating that what happened last Tuesday, March 1st, when Gustavo Petro was denied entry to all Providence was a shameful and unrepresentable event. Likewise, they stated that until the last moment, they take direct communication with the Ocre management in San Andres, and that the permit would have been granted without any problem. However, it was subsequently branded as false by a subscriber without any reasonable justification. The lawyer and manager of the historic park political party in the department also stated that this fact has mobilized dozens of reactions throughout the country, especially for, and I quote, the mystery surrounding the reconstruction of Providence, the island severely hit by nature in the late 2020. Finally, in the letter, they clarify some points and offer apologies to the community of Providence, stating that they hope that the visit of the pre-candidate can take place at the future date. They also emphasize that the pre-candidate, being a senator of the Republic, does not need permission to travel to the national territory. However, on March 4th, they formally request the entrance of the candidate to the municipality before the Ocre's management.
And in Teleislas news, the community gave its opinion on the commitment to increase the number of people vaccinated in the archipelago during the new vaccination campaign.
From 8 o'clock in the morning, the new vaccination campaign against COVID-19 began, which is carried out in a continuous schedule in the Morgan Canyon Plaza. In order for people to complete or start their vaccination schedule, Lina Navarro, vaccination coordinator, explained the importance of people attending the vaccination points against COVID-19.
It is very important because we want to have our community protected. We want to encourage parents to take their children to start or complete their vaccination schedule. We have a number of biologicals for the community to access, and I encourage them to start or complete their vaccination schedule.
The attendees gave their opinion about the new vaccination campaign.
La idea es que todas las personas empecemos.
The idea is that we all start to complete our vaccination schedule to take care of ourselves. Of course, we can take off the mask, but we must continue to protect ourselves and what more than getting the booster dose. I invite those who have not been vaccinated to come and get vaccinated.
What
is required in this case is to have a booster dose applied. I already had the disease, and for precautionary and safety reasons, it is important to have a third dose.
It is good that they continue to vaccinate and that people get vaccinated.
It is important to remember that the campaign will be held on March 5th, 7th, and 8th, and it is expected that all those interested will attend and complete their vaccination schedule.
Today in the morning hours, the cruise ship Seabourn Ovation arrived for the third time. At this time, we're connected with Alice, who from the dock of the Cove gave us more information.
At 9 a.m., the Seabourn Ovation cruise ship from Belize arrived again at the Cove dock. During the welcome, officials from the Tourism Secretariat expressed the importance of this type of arrivals within the framework of economic reactivation.
Effectively, on this occasion, we are receiving the Seabourn cruise ship. It is coming for the third time since they came not too long ago. They have approximately 800 people between crew and passengers. They came from Belize with destination to Costa Rica, Puerto Limon. They are already here. They are going to leave the island at 6 p.m. It is very important for the economy since it brings in another type of tourists. That is what the government expects, since they are tourists that do not bring garbage, do not bring disorder. And the people of the island, like the taxi drivers, service providers at the Morgan Cave, downtown area, the museum, Rocky Key, and in general, all the island benefits from this kind of tourism.
The visitor was in our department until 6 p.m. and that time the cruise ship continued to route to Costa Rica.
It's fantastic. It's a lovely opportunity just to come and see your little small island, tour around, see the sights. Not a big cruise stop, but we're not a big cruise ship, so it's very nice balance.
Fabulous, yes, fabulous. Lovely small island. Yeah, really looking forward to exploring it. We're going to probably get a taxi around the island and just explore what you have to offer.
Tourism providers also gather at the Cove dock and sent a message to the community and the authorities.
The first message that I would want to give, we need
like a good governor that will go outside and promote this island, that we can be able to receive courtship more often.
Passengers and crew of the Sea Renovation had the opportunity to visit the most emblematic tourist sites on the island, including the House Museum, among others. It is expected that the visit of the ship will continue on a recurring basis.
An environmental corporation is present at the National Summit of Regional Autonomous Corporations and Sustainable Development. In addition, the director, Arnie Britton, was appointed as the national representative of these corporations.
In the framework of the Assembly of Asocars and the National Summit of Regional Autonomous Corporation and Sustainable Development, which takes place in Puerto Gaitán, Meta, yesterday, March 3rd, World Wildlife Day, the CARS announced that thanks to the articulated work with the territorial entities, police, army, navy, and community, among others, 21,879 animals was released, 70% more than in 2020, in which 12,659 animals were returned to their habitat. Also at this meeting, the General Director of Coralina, Arne Britton, was elected as the new representative of the country's environmental corporation to the Board of Directors of the Environmental Compensation Fund. During his term, he will be accompanied by Plinio Rolando Forrero, the Director of Corpo Chivor, as his substitute. In this region, at the confluence of the Orinoquia and Amazonia, the CARS of the country make a call to protect the wildlife species and present concrete results of their management. By 2021, they received 38,140 animals, of which 13,800 are reptiles, 12,759 birds, 8,215 mammals, 55 amphibians, and 3,311 others. The CARS conduct constant operation in response to the complaints from the country and the authorities, while intensifying operation against the commercialization and illegal trafficking of wild fauna and flora, as well as environmental educational activities.
And now it's time for news of the municipality of Old Providence and Santa Catalina with Millicent O'Neill.
Good evening to everyone. This is the most relevant information from Old Providence and Catalina. A new forest fire broke out in recent days in the Smoothwater Bay sector.
Firefighters put out a new forest fire, this time in Smoothwater Bay. According to the fire chief, this was caused by persons who will not understand the water situation in the municipality.
The firefighters left immediately with the tankers that we have here and the fire truck. They arrived there and proceeded to work. Support was requested from the risk management truck, which made 4 trips.
Firefighters used 7 water tanks to extinguish this provoked fire.
All that water that is being used to put out the fire, and not only that, the hard work that was done. We worked until 9 o'clock that night. We received help from the civil defense, from the Navy and Coralina.
Finally, the captain insists again on the creation of a fine or public service for those who provoke these fires.
It hurts a lot because there are people here who need water, and I wish that all that water that we are throwing there, we would throw it to someone's house. People have to have a little bit of conscience, especially with the drought, the water restriction. Avoid that, man. Avoid it burning.
So far this year, there have been 5 forest fires and 8 fire outbreaks.
On the other hand, several elderly people have complained about the deliveries or repairs made to their homes during the reconstruction. Some consider that they have been taken advantage of because of their age.
Several senior citizens have complained about the repair or construction of their houses. Some feel that they have been cheated, and others think that they have been taken advantage of by having them sign documents without finishing the work.
They broke the baño. They tied it back, yes, but they didn't put back the lavamano and the things for the soap and stuff like that. They threw that outside. I find that outside.
On the other hand, the oldest woman in Catalina says that her bathroom is not fit.
Animal can come to it. Anything can come to it.
On the other hand, Mr. Carlos' septic tank was broken during the reconstruction process. However, they don't want to rebuild it. And even though his house is finished, he can't go in because the toilet drain will discharge in a neighbor's property.
They will fix the bathroom and the septic and the light.
Other affected persons choose not to speak out of fear for reprisals.
This is all the information we have for tonight for this section of Old Providence and Catalina. You guys can continue in San Andres with more Teleislas News. Good night.
Thank you, Millie. And this is all for now, but we see you Sunday at 8 p.m. in Teleislas News Weekend. Good night.